All right, guys, let's talk about this. Wall Street basically says, and if we're going to look at some analytic data, says that Nvidia versus Micron, you should buy one and sell the other. Now, before I get into this, what do you think it is? Pause the video if you want. Drop in the comments. Which do you think you should buy versus sell? Should you buy Nvidia? Should you buy Micron? As always, thanks for giving me a few minutes. I promise it's worth your time. We're going to have some fun with this one. All right. So Wall Street says Nvidia is undervalued, but most analysts think Micron is too expensive. Interesting. Okay. I think Micron's earnings are going to continue just balloon because of the shortage in memory. But we'll continue to get into this. So Nvidia and Micron are semiconductor companies. We know this, the chips, the memory side. All to talk about like this. Nvidia's Grace Blackwell super chips, the fastest, most efficient AI accelerator. We know that. Micron is losing market share in NAND and DRAM memory to industry leaders Samsung and SK Hynix. That's interesting. Okay. So continuing on. We know that we're some of the biggest winners. All right. So if we take a look right here, okay, so we can see like in the last 5 years, Nvidia is up 1,000%. And look at this one in the last 5 years. Micron is up 1,290. The last year, 769% up and only 42% up in Nvidia. So Micron has definitely made a significant run. Okay, here we go. Stocks have added 1,300+% and 1,900% respectively since 2023. Most Wall Street analysts think one of the two is overvalued. Among 69 analysts, Nvidia has a median target price of $300 per share. That implies a 44% upside from its current share price of $208. Among 49 analysts, Micron has a median target of $949. That implies an 8% downside from its current price of $1,034. Now, the only caveat here is there's 49 versus 69 analysts. I have 100% seen some big brokerages come out and given Micron a price target of $1,500. I mean, I have seen that. Okay. So currently we're at, $1,130. Okay. Does that change the equation? I don't know. Let's see what else we got here. So Nvidia has a 44% upside implied. Okay. We just established that. Nvidia is hands down the winner as far as current chip architecture, but I will tell you that there is new, different AI coming, agentic AI, things of this nature, right? That will leverage different types of chips versus the GPUs that Nvidia does. Now, does that mean that they're going to see some dramatic sell-off? No. Nvidia is, by the way, they're creating new chips to feed the demand that's coming from some of these new different types of processing. But like AMD, Intel, those guys are standing with existing chip structure that will feed some of this new AI kind of initiatives that are coming. Okay. I think that's a factor. I think it's worth mentioning. All right. So Nvidia accounts for nearly 90% of all AI accelerator sales. I believe that, but it's also going to be somewhat shifting, but that's not going to happen overnight. Let's call it what it is. Okay. And again, Nvidia is not going anywhere. All right. They have built an entire ecosystem around themselves. They're more than just a chip. They're a major investor in other AI companies. They just did a $20 billion. They just put together a $20 billion bond raise, to help with different things like that. Okay. Just kind of continuing on. So I think Nvidia has a long runway for growth. I agree. Okay. AI infrastructure market is forecast to hit 4 trillion by 2030. That number actually has grown to 5.3 trillion. Okay. So this is wrong. Okay. And that number is going to be 7 trillion by 2033. Okay. So Nvidia currently trades at 32 times earnings, essentially its cheapest valuation in 7 years. I think it's a good time to buy Nvidia. Okay. I do. And if you look at this, I mean, 1 month it's down 8%. 1 year it's up 42%. Okay. I mean, that's not a bad buy. And the Micron, 1 month's up 53, 1 year's up 769. Okay. All right. Continuing on. That price looks particularly attractive because Wall Street estimates adjusted earnings will increase at 43% annual through 2029. Interesting. Okay. Micron. I think that what they're not taking into consideration here for Micron is I think that Micron's price target could be $1,500. And I've seen some very, very big brokerages talking about that. Okay. We've also got the memory shortage that is doesn't matter who you are, SK Hynix, Samsung, Micron, they can't meet demand. So what is that going to do? Higher prices. They can charge higher prices. What is that going to do? Higher earnings. Okay, so they're going to continue to meet Wall Street's expectations, and I think they're going to hit those higher valuations. Okay, so I think that Micron is absolutely still a buy. I think Nvidia is a little bit better, and partly I think that's better because of this. I think that there's not as much recent momentum gain for Nvidia. I mean, like, think of it this way: if you bought it today, you're buying it at a 8% discount from where it was previous beginning of the month, as an example. Okay, so what do you think? Drop in the comments below. I would love to hear from you. This one's kind of for me, this is almost like a 50-50. I think you need to own both, and I think that both are extremely important in the equation when we're talking about, different sectors of AI. But bottom line, you don't need to just own Micron and Nvidia. You need to own a bunch of different AI plays. Buy some ETFs. I did an ETF video the other day. It was can't remember the name of it, but it was an ETF, really good ETF that is a good one. Okay. And there's definitely memory specific ETFs. There's semiconductor ETFs. There's some that are blend of semiconductor and memory. So if you don't want to, if you're like, hey, I don't know which side I want to go find some ETFs. Okay. So those are good opportunities to get into the play. So I'm going to kind of end the video here. I think this is a draw. I think that my personal opinion, I think if you're looking at different valuations, you have to look at all the different numbers. I like Nvidia a little bit more, but Nvidia's got competition coming in those different chipsets. Micron, it's got competition coming from SK Hynix and Samsung. SK Hynix has applied for their stock to be able to trade here in the United States, so that's going to be interesting to watch that. But we've got the entire memory sector that is in a shortage. So all three of those big companies are going to benefit from that. So I think earnings are going to be good for that. But Micron could be losing a little bit of ground to SK Hynix and Samsung, things of this nature. So interesting. Drop in the comments. Let me know what you think. Thanks for giving me a few minutes. I'll see you.